Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah, salatu wassalam, rasulillah. Okay, now we're moving on. Section 2.2. So this is section 2.2. This is a very important section, and it's about indeclinable words. So this one is about indeclinable words, the mabni verbs. Indeclinable words. Okay, so the mabni are words that remain unchanged in all forms. Okay, for example, marartu haza, ra'aytu haza, ja'a haza. It's always haza. Haza is a mabni word and it does not change. So there are types of mabni words. Okay, mabni. Types of mabni words. Okay, now listen. In Arabic, we know there's only three types of word: ism, fa'al, and harf, right? So let's like ism, and then fa'al, and harf, right? So there are only three. So in talking about mabni words, we talk about these words in terms of these three. So there are going to be some mabni harf, there's going to be mabni fa'al, there's going to be mabni isms, okay? So which one of them are mabni? So let's talk about, first we talk about harf, okay? So harf, now all huruf are mabni. So all huruf are mabni. Huruf are mabni. So all of them are mabni. Okay? So that's awesome. That's easy enough. Now we talk about fi'l. Now if you remember among fi'l, okay, so when we talk about fi'l, there are different types of fi'l. Fi'l madi, fi'l mudari, fi'l amr, and fi'l nahi. Okay? So in terms of fi'l madi, right? And then we talk about fi'l mudari. Let's talk about al-madi and al-mudari. And then there's a third type is fi'l amr. And those are the only one that's discussed here, okay? So there are four types of fi'l madi, mudari, and amr. And it doesn't say, nahi, I'm guessing, is in category of amr or something like that. But those are the three that are mentioned here. And then, of course, then there is the last category is ism. So we said it's an easy category. All harfs are mabni. So these are only three categories of verbs, right? And some fi'ls are mabni and some are not mabni. If you're going to talk about which ones are mabni, okay? Which ones are mabni. And if you know which ones are mabni, then we know which ones are not mabni. Okay, so the first category here we talked about is huruf, and they're all mabni. And the second category here, fi'l madi, this is also very nice because these are also mabni. These are also mabni. This is very cool. Mabni, fi'l madi is also mabni. And then we'll talk about these mudari, okay, and fi'l amr. Okay, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to slightly change this, okay. I'm going to slightly change this. I'm going to put the amr here first, and then I'm going to put amr, okay, and then I'm going to put mudari. So the thing about it is, amr is also mabni with amr hazir, okay. Amr hazir, sigha number 6 to 12, amr hazir, okay, are mabni. So this is mabni, and these are mabni. So these are three mabni groups. That's easy enough, right? So all of huruf and all of fi'l madi and fi'l amr. Fi'l amr hazir mabni, hazir sigha, like idrib, idriba, idribu, idribi, idriba, idribna. Okay, those are hazir sighas are mabni. So in fact, these three sighas, okay, these three sighas are together they are called mabni al-asl. Al-mabni al-mabniyu asl. Al-mabniyu asl, the real mabnis. So huruf and fi'l madi and fi'l amr are mabniyin asl. Okay. The fourth one is fi'l mudari. In fi'l mudari, it's pretty easy actually. In fi'l mudari, the sixth and the 12th sigha, the jam'a mu'annas, jam'a mu'annas sighas. Okay, jama mu'annas sighas. For example, nasara, nasara, nasaru. Sorry, yansuru, yansurani, yansuruna, tansuru, tansurani, yansurna, tansuru, tansurani, tansuruna, tansurina, tansurani, tansurna. The yansurna and tansurna, those 6th and 12th. Those jama mu'annas. Those jama mu'annas are are uh, mabni. So 6 and 12, Jama Mu'annas are mabni. And whenever Fi'l Mudari has Noon at-Ta'keed, okay? Whenever they have Noon at-Ta'keed, Noon at-Ta'keed, like Noon al-Sakhila or Noon al-Khafifa, whenever they have a Noon al-Ta'keed. So there are two categories. Most Mudari is not mabni, right? Except for the 6th and 12th sigha and then Noon al-Ta'keed, Noon al-Sakhila and Noon al-Khafifa. Okay? Only those two are mabni. The rest of them are not. Okay, that's pretty easy enough, right? So we talked about fi'l. In fi'l, all of fi'l mudari are mabni, and amr sighas, the amr hazir sighas, right, are mabni, and in mudari, only 6 and 12 are mabni. Okay, in mudari, only these are mabni, 6 and 12, and if they have nun sakhila, then they become mabni. Okay, now the nouns are tricky. The nouns are tricky. Okay, and the rest of the chapter is primarily about nouns. Okay, and it's a huge chapter. Because all of this is pretty easy, right? Harf is easy. Al mudari and amr mabni and mudari 6 and 12 and nun taki. Okay, that's it. But finding which one is mabni and ism is like tough part. And the rest of the chapter, which is like 50 pages, is about this category. But when we're going to study this, we'll notice that there are four things that cause ism to become mabni. Okay, they become mabni. In other words, okay, when ism becomes mabni, if it resembles any of the mabni al asli. If an ism resembles any of has certain characteristic of a harf, huruf, and fi'l madi and fi'l amr, then it becomes mabni. So it becomes mabni if it resembles al mabni al asli. If it resembles al mabni al asli, al mabni al asl. So whenever ism it looks like this, then it will be mabni, and it does that in four ways. Okay, let me put it. I'm not going to put this in the order that's written in the book because I think the order I'm going to suggest is slightly better in terms of memorizing. Okay, if it resembles a harf, for example, how would it resembles a harf? If it resembles a harf, okay, by having that is less than 3 letters. Okay, by having less than 3 letters. So that's one category. Okay, if it resembles a harf by having less than 3 letters, or number two, it resembles a harf by having a harf in the word originally. For example, ahada ashara. Ahada ashara used to be ahadun wa asharun. Okay, but it was contracted. The harf was removed, so it had a harf originally. So like this. So an ism will be mabni if it resembles a harf in that it is less than 3 letters. For example, the word man. Okay, man. Okay, that's a ism, not min, which is a harf jar. It's man, who. It's the ism because it resembles this. Okay, that's that. And then there's two others. Or it resembles any of these. It resembles these, okay, in meaning. Okay, that's this in meaning and dependency. So that's the number 3. And number 4, it resembles al-mabni asli in dependency. Okay, so let's elaborate on this, okay? So we talked about ism will be types of mabni. Ism will be mabni al-asma if it resembles a harf in that it is less than 3 letters, or it resembles a harf by having a harf originally in it. Resembles in meaning, for example, okay? It resembles in meaning. There's certain nouns here, okay? There's certain nouns, okay, that are actually function as verbs, okay? Actually function as verbs. For example, the word ruwaida, ruwaida, ruwaida. This is a noun which has the same meaning as amhil, which is a verb. Okay, amhil. Okay, and they both mean give grace or respite. Okay, so this is a noun which has the same meaning as a verb, a noun that has the same meaning as a verb, and it will therefore be mabni. So ruwaida and amhil, they both mean the same thing, which is give respite or give some grace. Okay, all right, and so that's an example of resembling in meaning. Resembling in dependency. Now, what does it mean by resembling in dependency? For example, the word has a, okay, which means this, is a ism ishara. It's a noun, okay, but it doesn't mean anything by itself. If you remember from chapter 1, the definition of a noun was it was a word that could be understood by its own self, right? But here is a case which cannot be understood by its own self, right? Noun was a word that could be understood by itself, and a verb was also a word that could be understood by itself. A harf was a word that could not be understood by itself, and that you needed other noun or verbs or both to make sense out of it. But here's a noun, haza, which does not make a sense by itself. So it's acting like a harf. Haza was haza what? So it's resembling a harf by its dependency in having other words. So this will be mabni. So this is an example of resembling in dependency. Okay, ismu ishara, haza. So we talked about this is actually a very important page in this chapter. So the indeclinable mabni words, and all words in Arabic are either harf, fa'il, and ism, correct? All huruf are mabni, all fi'l madi are mabni, and all fi'l amr hazir are mabni. So these are 3 mabni categories. Okay, these are called mabni ul asli right here. See, these are all mabni categories. Okay, and fail mudari only 6 and 12 sigha, and if they have nun takid, then they are mabni. And ism is the hard, tricky part, as I said, to finding which one is mabni. But there will be 4 cases that they are going to be mabni in. Okay, and that is they resemble harf in that they're less than 3 letters, and they resemble harf because they had a harf in them originally, such as ahada ashra, which was originally ahadun wa ashrun. And number 3, they resemble al-mabni asli in the meaning or in their dependency. Number 4, in their meaning, for example, there are some nouns that have a meaning of verb, like ruwaida, which means as amhil, which is a verb. This is a verb, and this is a noun, and this verb means give respite and grace, give grace or respite, and the noun here will be mabni because it resembles this word. So this is a forcer, and the dependency, and we gave an example, haza. Nouns, definition by definition, are independent. They could be understood by themselves. Verbs can be understood by themselves without needing any other words. except for harf cannot be understood by themselves. That was a definition we learned in the last chapter. But here's a noun haza, which cannot be understood by itself. It's dependent like it's a harf. Since it's dependent like a harf, it is going to be mabni. So there's 4 ways a noun can be mabni. And then again, in the remainder of the chapter, we'll elaborate on this, inshallah. Salatu wassalamu, alhamdulillah, rabbil alameen. Assalamu alaikum.